y'all, it's Heather, and I've gone through my eyeshadow palette collection and I pulled the top 10 palettes perfect for fall this year. I'm so excited to share these with you. Let's jump into it. Now, as we get started, I'm gonna pop up numbers on the screen, but this is not a ranking video, okay? It's just my top 10. And remember, the seasons don't have to tell you how to wear your makeup. You do what you want. I just think it's fun to be inspired by fall. Let's start off with the newest palette to my collection. This is Nomad Cosmetics Speakeasy palette based around Chicago. I think this is so gorgeous. Forget it. The outside is gorgeous with this like crushed velvet red. It's very luxe. It's very, very on theme. We have these beautiful pans inside, beautiful embossing. Like everything about this palette is so stunning and I can't get enough of it. I love that we have beautiful like purpley tones. We have some greens in here. We have some browns in here. We really just have kind of everything we need to create these beautiful fall looks. I love the warmth. I love those kind of like muted berries. I think there's just a lot of variety in here, and Nomad really put together a palette where I can create looks. It's not just a pretty color story but then doesn't make sense when I go to actually apply it. No, every shade serves a purpose. Every single shade works well together. The quality in here is beautiful. I think they did an excellent selection of doing like light mattes, dark mattes. We have beautiful shifty type shadows. I'm just really into this one. I do have an affiliated code with Nomad, and as we talk today, if I have any codes, I will pop them on the screen for y'all, and they will also be in the description box. Next up, let's talk about Poison Garden from BellaBeauteBar. This is another one that's very new to my collection, so I wanted to start out with like the new ones. And let me just tell you, like this kind of has this fall, almost Halloween type theme with the Poison Garden, but the color story inside is so perfect. They captured like the leaves changing up here, and then it's almost like they captured the decay of the leaves and the things that kind of come towards the end of fall. And I'm so into this. This is a gorgeous selection of mattes, multi-chromes, duochromes, holochromes. The pans are magnetic. You can move these around if you want to, mix and match them with your other palettes. I love that we have so much depth and murkiness for fall while also having those kind of classic fall colors that you think about, like the olive tones and the oranges. I'm just here for it. BellaBeauteBar continues to blow me away with their quality. I think they're just doing amazing things, and this palette, like I love it so much. And I mean, do you see this massive mirror? Like, I know that may be a small thing, but like that's not a small thing. That's not like super cheap just to put a mirror in a palette. So I never take that for granted. I love that we have this large mirror. So if you like to use mirrors in your palettes when you're doing your makeup, things like that, you like to hold it up, get up close, you do have that option. I think it's a good touch. I can't not point it out. Let's jump over to the palette that I am wearing on my eyes today, and that is the Tarte Reflections palette. This one really caught my attention when it launched, and it did not disappoint. Look at this massive palette. I know it's so big, and we will talk about palettes that are smaller coming up, but I can't resist. I love having options in a palette, and this palette is giving it to me. You can see this look I created today. It's very like fall without being too dramatic. I feel like this is a day or nighttime look, and that's what I get from this palette. I get that we have these light tones where we can really create something kind of bright if we want to. We also have these really deep tones like these chocolate browns, these warm browns. We have a black in here. The formulas in this palette are also gorgeous. Like we have metallics that look wet. We have foiled shades. We have some shimmers that are pretty. We have like a little duochrome. This palette deserves so much more hype. I really enjoy using it. I never struggle. I just always get an easy blend, and I'm always pleased with my look. I did do a full video on this Tarte palette, so I will link it up here in the cards for you in case you want to check it out. Let's talk about Sumerian Sunset from Adept Cosmetics. This palette is stunning. Like, what can I say that she doesn't say for herself? This palette is for the sparkle lover, the multi-chrome lover, the special shade lover, because you are getting 5 mattes in here. So you have mattes, but you have these 10 beautiful special shades. I love this color story for fall. I love this color story for all year round, honestly, but they really captured the essence of what I love about fall. We've got the beautiful like green murky tones. I love that we have the pop of like this yellowy vanilla, I don't know, like it's unique. It's good for blending. We have beautiful like burnt orange red color, and then we have this peachy shade to kind of buff and blend that out. I love that we have like these hollow shades right here where you have the holographic sparkle. Just overall, this to me is like fall, sunset, I love it in a palette. I love everything about this palette, and I will link my video for you. So in case you want to see what I think about this palette more than what I'm saying today, you can check it out. Now, whenever I do these top 10 videos, I don't think it's fair to talk about like my collaborations or my friends' collaborations, but I cannot talk about Adept. As much as I love this palette, as much as I love it, I can't talk about it without just mentioning my palette, okay? This is my collaboration with Adept, and hello. Of course, I think this palette is great for all year round. I didn't create this with like one season in mind. I just created this like with my vision and my love, but it's perfect for fall, right? Like it's perfect for fall, beautiful multi-chromes. I won't go on and on about it, but like also I can't help myself. So I'm not giving this a number. It's not taking one of the 10 spots, but I love it and I always have to talk about it. Natasha Denona Golden. I know I love Natasha Denona. Y'all know I love Natasha Denona. And look at this beautiful golden color story. I love Natasha Denona's formulas. I think her formulas are very unique. I love that we have like dark mattes and light mattes. I love that we have a variety of shimmers in here. It is the golden palette, so that is what you're gonna get. Golden tones. I personally love that. I love a golden tone. I have a warm olive undertone, and this just, it works for me. It's giving me that like drama smoky eye if I want it. It's giving me that like neutral blended effortless look if I want it. But I love that I can create looks with a lot of contrast, that light to dark. I can keep like this light bright inner corner if I want. I just really love this palette. This is one of my favorite neutral palettes, but I think it's so perfect for fall because there's something about those golden tones that just make me feel like warm and cozy, and you know, it's still hot here where I live, but I'm getting the fall vibes with this. Ensley Rain Underland. This is a new palette to my collection as well. You can see it's Alice Down the Rabbit Hole inspired Alice in Wonderland. I love it. I love it. And look at this color story. It's so gorgeous. I do have a video on this where I'm like showing every shade on the eyes, so definitely check that out. I really had fun with this one. I love the color story. Ensley Rain managed to give us something fall that wasn't incorporating oranges and yellows and browns, and I love that for them. Like they really did a good job giving us a murky fall color story. I mean, I love that we have this pop of white because we can really lighten any of these shades if we want to. We have some beautiful deep dark mattes in here. Every single shade performs like a dream. Listen, these top 10 palettes I'm talking about, I'm not going to be sharing palettes that have dud shades, okay? These are great palettes. Don't be worried about, do they last? Do they not last? Do they fade over time? What shades don't work? Like, these palettes, they're the cream of the crop, okay? So we have beautiful like holochromes and multichromes and special shades and beautiful shimmers. Definitely check out the video if you're interested in this. I have like playlists on a lot of these brands, okay? A lot of the brands I'm talking about, I continue to favor over and over again. And this palette, like Ensley Rain, they really did that. I know it's a full collection, and like a lot of these things that I'm talking about, like the Natasha Denona Golden, it's from a full collection. So if you want to know more about the pieces, like I've got you. I've been so impressed by the Too Faced Aptly in Love palette. I mean, look at this beautiful color story. I really like that Too Faced gave us a palette that is colorful with some pops of neutral. We have about like maybe 1/3 of the shades or so that are neutral, but mainly we have these like pinky reds, we have the greens, we have the yellow. I love these two shades right here, just pairing the two yellowy golds together. I love that we do have the neutral shades so we can pull those in. I love the pop of green. I think that's genius for an apple themed palette. Hello. And it's so fall. It's giving us apples for fall instead of pumpkins for fall, and I love that. I like that we have light shades and deep shades. I like that we have shimmers and mattes, and I feel like every shade in this palette is very consistent. It performs well. I don't have to struggle like blending anything or layering anything. It does really well, and I think Too Faced did a great job. It smells, of course, like apple cinnamon. I really like that. And if you liked the Italian Spritz palette from Too Faced that they did, what was that, last year or year before last, that quality was so good, and this is that same quality, and I love that for me. Now, if you're over all the warm tones for fall, let me introduce you to Unearthly Cosmetics Gargoyle palette, because this is gonna meet your cool tone needs. This is wet fall in the rain, where it's hitting all those dead leaves. It's giving me the fall vibes. It's giving me fall nighttime. I love this palette. I do have a video here on my channel. I'm doing 2 looks with the palette, so if you want to check that out, I have the inspiration for you. I love that Unearthly did something different for fall. They kind of gave us their cool tone colorful palette. I like that this top row is kind of these brown neutral tones, and then we have our blues and our navies and our deep saturated like eggplant purple colors, but we have a little bit of gray too. I like that they didn't do like all gray palette. They didn't do that. They took color, they took browns, and they gave us some gray and black, and they gave us enough shades to where we can create looks with every shade. I really like the size of this palette. We have some beautiful multi-chromes and duochromes and shimmers in here, and every shade in here is a hit. There's no shade in here that is a dud for me. It's just absolutely, absolutely stunning. And like I said, I can't talk about my collabs as part of the top 10, so I'll just throw in as a bonus my Resurgence collaboration with Unearthly. Like, look at these beetles. They're so gorgeous. This was my collaboration I did last year. It is still available, and this is like fun fall, right? So I won't go on and on and on about it, but you have the dark tones in here. I didn't create this with the season in mind, but you can mix and match these. You can pull in that red and that black and create something like super vampy and fun for fall, and I love it. And I can't talk about it because like I can't give it a place in the number, but just know like it's my baby and I love it all the time. Next up, Lunar Beauty Moon Shroom. This palette was released, I believe, in the spring. Okay, I'll link the videos I have because I have several videos using this palette down below. And this, of course, it's a year-round color palette to me. Like, I use my makeup when I want to use it, and I am attracted to these tones all the time. Like, you give me an olive and I'm like sold. Like, what do I have to do? Give it to me. Like, I need it. I love, love, love the color story, but I love that we get like some brighter tones in here too. So if you want to go for like those first early stages of fall to like channel your look, you have the bright yellows and you have kind of that lavender, like blurple pop, you know, blue purple type of color. You have these gorgeous shimmers. You have depth. You have light shades. You can just create so many different looks with this. Like, Lunar Beauty knocked it out of the park. I think this may be, I don't know. Is it my favorite Lunar Beauty palette? Maybe. I don't know. I don't want to think too long about that. But when I think about palettes, I think about this one. Like, this is one that I just feel like I'm always inspired by. And I also can reach for when I want to create easy looks and I don't want to think. I'm just like, let me just put something on that's going to look great and cool and I love it. And I had to pull this one for fall because there is something very fall-esque and very like forest floor about this. I mean, I get the inspiration. I get the moon shroom inspiration with this palette, and the quality is phenomenal. Last but not least, let's talk about Blood Moon from Electrum Cosmetics. The packaging on this one is so fun, and the inside, like, I could eat this palette up. I could eat it up. I love these dark colors. Like, I see the Blood Moon inspiration. If you laid out this color story for me, like no packaging, I couldn't see the Blood Moon on the front, and you said this is Blood Moon, I would be like, absolutely it is. Are you kidding me? These shades are, I don't even have words. I don't even have words. I mean, I have words always, but like sometimes I'm a little shocked and speechless. I love makeup. I love playing with makeup. I love testing like new formulas, new textures. And Electrum Cosmetics is a brand that does not release a ton of things. This is only this is their third palette to release for 2024. And I can tell that they put a lot of thought and effort and energy into their releases. The shades are so strong in the shiftiness. The shades are dark. The mattes are extremely pigmented, but I also had no trouble blending them. They just do what they need to do. They're so beautiful, and I'm always excited to see what is coming next from Electrum. I think they do such a good job. I just can't say that enough. The quality of this palette is phenomenal, and I truly enjoy it. I do want to give like one more bonus palette though, okay? Like, I have to. I said I don't like to talk about collaborations or my friends' collaborations, but how could I not mention as a bonus Enchanted Autumn? This is Fantasy Cosmetica and Makeup Just for Fun, or Amanda, my friend. So since I am friends with Amanda, I'm like, I'm just gonna throw it in as a bonus. I'm not gonna give it a top 10 place, but where Amanda lives, this is fall to her, and I see that. I see that fall for me as well. Like, when the nighttime comes and the sky changes to these colors right here, when the leaves are turning here, I see it. I have a video, I'm doing eye swatches, I'm doing everything with this palette, I'm doing looks, and I just one, I'm so proud of my friend, but even if this wasn't my friend's collaboration, I would be like, oh, I need that palette. I love Fantasy Cosmetica. I love the tones they picked. I love that we have this bright silver. We don't get that a ton in fall type of palettes, so I thought that was really unexpected, really beautiful, and like all the looks that I see people create with this palette, I'm just like blown away. So I had to talk about, okay, I had to talk about it, but I would love to know, what are your favorite palettes for fall? Do you love fall? Do you love summer? I'm a summer girly, but listen, I love a theme. So if we're doing a theme for makeup, I'm pulling my fall palettes because I love to talk about makeup. So I would love to hear, are there any palettes that you would be like, no, this is the #1 palette for fall? Is there any palette that you know I haven't tried and you want me to review? Please let me know. I love hearing from you. I love talking about makeup with you. So let me know what I need down in the comments.